indicated that we'll play our full part in making sure that any deal, if there is one, and I hope there is, and I think this is a historic moment to make sure it's a lasting deal, and we're about to have a discussion about.
If I did it, you would be standing up in that chair shouting at me, and you know what I'd do? I'd say, you got me. I think we're very well advanced. I think Russia has been acting very well. We have Representatives Steve Witkoff and Scott.
Trump just slapped a whopping 25% tariff on British steel and aluminum. And poor Keir Starmer is basically begging him to stop. You know things are bad when the UK Prime Minister has to plead with the orange menace over economic policy. In this video, we're taking you inside the absolutely ridiculous phone call between these two world leaders that definitely happened in our minds. Wait till you hear Trump's explanation for why British steel is suddenly a national security threat. Spoiler alert, he probably thinks James Bond is real. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favour. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now back to the video. Air raid sirens blaring in background. Ever wonder what happens when a desperate British Prime Minister calls Trump to beg for mercy? Well, thanks to our top-notch investigative journalism team, and definitely not our comedy writers pulling an all-nighter, we've got the exclusive transcript of the most awkward phone call in special relationship history.
We've had free speech for a very, very long time in the United Kingdom, and it will last for a very, very long time. I'm anti-Trump. I would like to send my warmest congratulations to President Trump.
So I have to be nice, right? Yeah. But I actually think he's very nice. I think he ran a great race. He did very well.
Dramatic Trade War 2024 graphics flash across screen with explosions. Let me set the scene for you. It's 3 a.m. in London. Prime Minister Keir Starmer is stress-eating crumpets in his pyjamas while dialing Mar-a-Lago. Meanwhile, Trump is probably in his gold-plated bathroom tweeting about how British people talk funny. Phone ringing sound effect. Trump. Hello? Who's calling at this hour? Is this about my beautiful inauguration? Biggest crowd ever, you know. Starmer. Mr. President, it's Keir Starmer, Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. I wanted to discuss the special relationship between our nations and perhaps chat about the Queen. Lovely woman. Did you know she breeds corgis? Or perhaps we could discuss cricket. Fascinating sport.
To make sure that peace deal is enduring, that it lasts, that it's a deal that goes down as a historic deal, that nobody breaches, and we'll work with you to make sure that that absolutely happens.
Create havoc. These are bad people. I know everything they're doing. I know every move they make. I get it. It's tougher. I think it's probably, in many ways, it's tougher on my family than it is in me. The witnesses that were on our side, they were literally crucified by this man who looks like an angel, but he's really a devil. He looks so nice and soft.
Trump. Listen, Keir, can I call you Kay? I have the most beautiful tariffs. People are saying they're the best tariffs in history. Nobody does tariffs like me. Starmer. Actually, sir, it's pronounced Keir, and about those tariffs. Trump. British steel is too fancy. Too fancy. James Bond is using it to spy on America. I saw it in a movie. Or maybe it was Downton Abbey. Great show. I would have been the Earl. The best Earl. Trump voice gets louder. The UK has been taking advantage of America since 1776. Nobody talks about this. British steel literally caused the Revolutionary War. I read that somewhere. Probably in a very good book. Starmer. Mr. President, I can assure you that our intelligence services do not use steel for... Look, perhaps we could work out some arrangement. The UK would be happy to offer America free tea for life.
So, President Zelensky's coming to see me on Friday morning, and we're going to be signing really a very important agreement for both sides because it's really going to get us into that country.
On his inauguration as the 47th President of the United States.
It's very early, but he's popular, and I'll be seeing him, and I'll send you a regard.
Trump. Tea? What am I, some kind of weak loser? I drink Diet Coke, the best drink. Starmer. What about if we rename Big Ben to Big Donald? It's quite tall, like yourself. Very impressive structure. breaking news alert sound. This just in, Trump demands the crown jewels as collateral for removing tariffs. Trump, listen, Keir. The Queen, great lady by the way, she loved me, told me I was her favourite president. She's got all those sparkly rocks just sitting there. Not doing anything. I could put them to work, make them great again, maybe stick them on the border wall. Starmer. The crown jewels aren't exactly... They're rather important cultural artefacts and technically belong to the... Trump. I'm a great negotiator. The best? Ask anyone. These tariffs? 25% on steel. Huge numbers. Your aluminum exports gone. £225 million. Poof. Ridiculous chart appears showing UK steel production as little sad faces with British flags.
Also know that there have been infringements on free speech that actually affect not just the British. Of course, what the British do in their own country is up to them.
The 14th Amendment, though, says that, quote, all persons born in the United States are citizens. Can you get around the 14th Amendment with an executive action?
We're going to have to get a change.
Starmer. Mr. President, this will devastate communities across Britain. Sheffield's steel industry alone, Trump. Sheffield? Never heard of her. Is she hot? Starmer. It's a city, sir, with thousands of workers who... Trump. Look, I'm protecting American jobs. America first. Though I do love your country. Great golf courses. I own some. The best ones. Starmer. Perhaps we could discuss NATO funding instead. I understand you have some thoughts on... Phone hang-up sound. Trump. NATO. Boring. Call me when you're ready to talk crown jewels, Keir. Click. Well, folks, it appears the special relationship just got a little less special. The president has hung up on the British Prime Minister, leaving the UK steel industry hanging in the balance. Serious newscaster voice. These tariffs will affect approximately £225 million in aluminum exports from the UK to the US. Our graphics department has helpfully illustrated this with this chart, showing exactly how many cups of tea British steelworkers won't be able to afford.
I have to say this, as I said yesterday, you're talking about a peacekeeping force. We have to make a deal first. Right now, we don't have a deal. We have Russia, we have Ukraine.
How has your life changed over the last 3 weeks?
It's incredible, and we are very, very busy. The life is...
The 14th Amendment, though, says that, quote, all persons born in the United States are citizens. Can you get around the 14th Amendment with an executive action?
We're going to have to get a change.
Absurd graphics showing teacups disappearing from a map of the UK, while sad trombone plays. For more on this developing economic crisis, we've sent our correspondent to Sheffield to speak with real British steelworkers about how these devastating tariffs will affect their livelihoods. Let's get serious for a hot second. What these beautiful tariffs actually do is pick the pockets of everyday Americans. Economic experts like Mark Zandi have made it crystal clear. Tariffs are a tax on consumers. They raise prices and hurt the economy. It's not rocket science, folks. The average American household will shell out an extra $600 a year, thanks to these steel and aluminum tariffs. Meanwhile, guess who's popping champagne? The same wealthy donors in the steel industry who backed Trump's campaign. They're loving the lack of competition that lets them jack up prices while workers on both sides of the Atlantic struggle to make ends meet.